everybody, it's Daphne again, and we are here to present part 2 of bringing the zoo to you behind the scenes of Main Barn, where you get to see where all the keepers were kind of interacting day in and day out. But today we're going to show you where the education animals that we house down here at Main Barn live. So stay tuned. So as we walk you through Main Barn, this is kind of our back alleyway, and one of our residents that lives back here is Tubbs. Tubbs is a possum, and you can see he's kind of sleeping. You might meet him in one of the educational programs that Jessica does, and you can tell because he's a little sleepy, he is a possum and he sleeps for most of the day. He can hear our voice right now, so he's kind of wondering what's going on, but obviously he is pretty sleepy, so he probably won't get up and greet us right now unless we had a special treat for him. So we'll move on and meet some of the other animals that live down here at Main Barn and let him get back to sleep. So now we're going to kind of show you what we refer to as Stall 2. This is kind of our tortoise hub for the education area. You might meet a few of these guys when Jessica does some programs in the future for Zoo to You, but we wanted to kind of give you guys an idea of where they live and kind of their daily activities. You did catch them on salad day, so you can tell they've definitely already gotten into some of their salad and made short work of it. And we do put it on a couple separate trays to make sure that they have enough space that they can eat freely without kind of getting on top of each other. You can also see one of our tortoises nesting right now. So this is kind of a really cool behavior to catch. It's not something you get to see all the time. You can tell that she kind of dug herself down and she's giving you guys a little attention and giving the camera a little love while she's doing that. So they're just kind of moving around, and they've got a big space that they can move back and forth and separate. And then if the weather is really nice, sometimes they even get to go outside. In this room, we also have a couple other tortoises that you're gonna meet. We have April, that is an ornate box turtle, and we have Hawkeye, and he's a hingeback tortoise. So these are a couple really great species. They're a little bit smaller than the redfoot and the yellowfoot tortoises that you just saw, but this is kind of where they live, and we just wanted to give you guys kind of an idea of what they eat. You can see their salads, so that's kind of a daily diet that they get Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And this is kind of where they spend their time when they're not out saying hi to you on program. So you saw a couple other areas in the zoo, and now we want to show you what we refer to as Stall 1. So this is another education space that we house some of our reptile animals in. Behind me you can see Carl. And he's a pretty big snake as far as gopher snake go. Kind of let you guys see him moving around. We do have another snake in here, Jazz, that's currently eating, so he's not on his enclosure right now. But we do have an armadillo that we also house in here that you will probably see and meet on program, and his name is JD. And that is short for John Deere. And right now he is very, very active and moving all over the place, and you can tell he's got lots of enrichment in here. And he is just giving you guys all the love and attention, aren't you? So these guys are really, really fast, and he likes to kind of run around. Sometimes he'll push the ball around. He gets different kind of substrate. He gets pine cones, and sometimes we'll stuff those pine cones with different things, but you can tell it's probably hard to track him in the camera because he definitely, when he gets going, he can move. He absolutely loves that. So the last space that we're going to show you down here in Main Barn is kind of another egg room that we have, and we refer to this as the small mammal room. And we also have a sub area that's a reptile room, so we'll go to that after this. But we kind of want to introduce you to some of the ed program animals that you might see in future segments and kind of give you an idea of where they live and kind of what they do during the day. So this is Mr. Buns. And he is a giant Flemish rabbit. And we'll see if he kind of wants to hop around. Right now he's very interested in what I'm doing and if I'm gonna let him out. And the next area that we're gonna kind of show you is our screech owls. So we have two screech owls. One of them's kind of in her box right now. This is Philomena. And she really likes her box. And you can kind of look over here and you'll see Jupiter. And they are sisters. So she's kind of checking out the camera and seeing what it's doing and not really sure about it. But she's a pretty brave one, and you can kind of see her perch swinged, and she's also got a little box if she wants to go to sleep. It's a little bit darker in there, and that has a perch in there that she can sit on. And then we do have some sugar gliders. Now these guys are nocturnal, so I'm not sure if we'll be able to see, but this is Bloke, and he is probably buried somewhere back in that paper right now. We give them a lot of options to sleep during the day since they're pretty active at night, but you can see he's also got quite a bit of enrichment, and we really utilize his enclosure. He's not very big, but he gets a lot of different climbing elements and perching and different types of enrichment and different things that are tactile for him. So we kind of change that up relatively often. That way he always has kind of a different environment and it's not kind of the same stagnant one. But right now he's probably asleep inside that paper area, and it'll probably only come out when it's time for food or kind of once it starts getting a little bit later and the light goes off, and then you'll really see how active he is. And another animal that we have in here, you might have seen in some pet stores. This is Fernando, and he is a chinchilla. He is also kind of sleepy right now. They all had breakfast, now they're kind of sleeping until dinner time. Now it's about lunchtime for keepers, so you might start seeing people move around, but for the animals, they kind of get free-fed lunch throughout the day. So he's kind of sleeping right now. He might come out and play later once he sees that there's a little bit of attention going on. And probably one of the most active animals in the Ed room is our ferret. So ferrets also don't tend to be very active during the day. Usually if she kind of hears you talking, you can see the banana hammock that she has starting to move around a little bit, so she's probably gonna pop her head out. There she is. This is Taz, and she is a domestic ferret, and she absolutely loves attention and playing around with her keepers. She has a very large enclosure also, but she tends to spend most of her day hours in kind of one of her hammocks. We change out her hammocks pretty often, and she'll sleep in those. She loves her tubing. You can see tubing throughout the whole stall. That's a big yawn. And she loves to run through all that series of tubing. So we also changed that up so that she's not using the same kind of tunnel system, so that she's constantly moving around to different areas, and we kind of changed it up to make it more interesting for her. Looks like she wanted to come out and say hi. And also, our chinchilla Fernando, he decided to come out and say hi to us as well. So this is Fernando. He heard us and woke up. So one thing people don't know a lot about chinchillas is they do tend to sleep a lot during the day, as you saw, but they are really, really fast and they can hop and jump. So you'll see different levels in the enclosure, and he is actually able to kind of use those logs and wood perches to jump around, and you might see some hay in there. He kind of gets some different types of brome hay or Timothy hay that he can eat, and hopefully he'll show us kind of how he bounces. So last stop on our tour of the Ed room is the last reptile room. So this is where we keep some of our smaller reptiles and amphibians that we have on program that you might get to meet here in the future. So we might just kind of show you some of the areas. Some of them are out, some of them are not. So we'll see which ones we can kind of get on camera and you guys can meet a little bit up close and personal. But this is a separate room that's enclosed, and that way we can control the temperature really well. And these guys, a lot of them get kind of misted daily, and we have to keep the humidity and the temperature at kind of an approximate level. And there's some things that you might see in the enclosure, some different enrichments, some humidity boxes. So if you guys see anything and you're not sure what it is, or we don't cover it, you want to know, feel free to ask us down in the comments. But we'll just kind of show you guys some of the animals that we have, animal ambassadors here at Rolling Hill Zoo. So we have a prehensile tail skink named Tiny that's up in the top. He's kind of back in that black half barrel, so it's kind of difficult to see right now. And we also have Rainy. That's a boa. She's kind of hard to see. She's inside, coiled up inside of her rock hidey hut. And then we do have a Euromastix named Jack. And Beardy, who you guys I believe have already met, and he is definitely making sure he's saying hi for the camera. And we have a giant African bullfrog named Dolores. And that's kind of what they do, is dig themselves down. And then in these enclosures, we have a western hognose snake named Arthur Hoggett. And then we have a Puebloan milk snake named Spaz. Spaz is kind of hidden under that milk crate, I think, right now. And then our last animal is Zeus, and he's a ball python. You can kind of see his head from this side. So that's kind of our last area of the tour of Main Barn, where you guys got to go behind the scenes. And if you guys have any questions about anything that you've seen, or if you want to know any questions from any of our keepers, feel free to drop them in the comments and we'll make sure we get back to you. And hopefully we look forward to seeing you on our next segment of Zoo to You. Bye!